Hey there, John here with the Blues Guitar Institute, and this is your Tuesday Blues, lesson number 140. If you haven't already done so, be sure to hit the subscribe button to show your support for these free lessons. And if you're interested in learning how to get more free stuff from BGI, then be sure to watch until the end of the video. In this lesson, we're going to pick up where we left off in lesson number 139, and we're really going to start building out a nice 12-bar blues arrangement. But we're going to focus on one key aspect, and that is using lead lines to really build some anticipation to the chord changes. And I think you're going to really enjoy this one, so stay tuned. All right, to get started getting this under your fingers, we'll move very quickly through the first 4 bars because this was really taught in lesson number 138. And what we did as a quick recap is we did this sort of climbing melody. From there up to this position. And then finally into this little A7 with this little returning leg. But here, right at the beginning of bar 5, we would normally go right into a D7, wherever you hear that D7, but that's the chord that we're yearning for when we hit this strong A7. What we're going to do is delay the occurrence of this D sound by, instead of just going straight to an open D note or a D chord, we're going to walk up the top of bar 5 chromatically from 2 to 3 to 4, and then the open 4th string for that D note that we're looking for. And it sounds like this, playing from the end of bar 4 through that little walk up. And notice that it's very quick, so just after we go back to this A7, you go right into this little walk up. And then we move into a nice little lick that we've covered in the last lesson, or basically the idea from the last lesson, where we get into this position and kind of work around some D7 related notes here. Now I'm going to switch back and I'm going to do my bass is going to be the open 5th string, and that works because the A note is a strong note in a D chord. So this also gives me a lower thumping sound than this 4th string. So I really favor this A over the D chord. So we got this. That's the rest of that measure. We're going to switch back, like I said, to the 5th string open as our bass. So you're going to pinch the 5th string A note and this A note on the 1st string 5th fret. And then we'll move into this F sharp on the 2nd string 7th fret. Then a B 1st string and then an A 1st string. Then back to our bass by itself, and then you kind of hit a little grace note, just kind of barely hear this 7th fret on the 2nd string before moving into these bends on the 8th fret of the 1st string. You'll do those on the beat, and those are the blues bends that we talk about quite a lot here on Tuesday Blues. They're just kind of putting that little push on them. We're not targeting a specific note, we're just kind of giving this a little bit of a vocal quality. Then we do our slide. And this lick was covered in the last lesson, or at least the main thought behind it, to kind of move us into A. Now let's take a look at that bit over the D chord, and I'll play it through on the slow side so we can really hear how we're just kind of waiting and waiting for that D, and we kind of delay the occurrence of it in that 5th bar here. Notice how we also sort of let ourselves right into the A chord by pulling these notes, which I'm doing that with my pinky, this strong A note right here, and then of course this F sharp kind of really puts us into thinking about A. And then of course when we do this, at the top of bar 7, and we do that sort of move between the long A and the A7. You know, that's another way we're really just kind of hinting at this A when we're doing this. Then obviously we're here. Once we get to that particular bar, slide in and do that roll in to the long A. We are A7 all the way right here, or A to A7. And once you've got that long A to A7 move down, then we're in bar 8. And this bar is another one of those bars where we're leading ourselves into the chord change that's coming. This bar 8 is done in A, but bar 9 is in E. So we're really going to play a lick that starts out in A and moves into some more E tones and really highlights the E tones for that coming bar, kind of hints at the E. Let's take a listen to the lick. Alright, so there's quite a lot happening there. Let's slow that down. So the notes that are happening here is we're going to pinch into our bass open 5th string with a palm mute, and on that pinch we're going to pinch with the 3rd fret of the 1st string, that G note. That's what's making this an A7 sound. And we're going to pull off from 3 to 2 and then open, all on that same B. Then we go back to the D note, 2nd string, 3rd fret. And here, notice that my thumb is quiet. We're going to let the thumb and the bass sort of fall away. Sometimes it's quite alright to just let the lick do the talking, and we're going to do that right here. We're not going to pay so much attention to the downbeat on the bass, but we're going to focus on this lick. So that's what we got so far. We're following up with an open 1st string. Then we do this little lick, micro lick, where we're pulling off from the 3rd fret 2nd string D down to the C on the 1st string, sorry, the 2nd string 1st fret, and then here on this A 3rd string 2nd fret. Then we're going to do a little hammer on from that C on the 2nd string to the D and then back to the C. So that's fret 1 to 3 and then 1. Then we do this little tag that kind of gets us into E, because so far these notes are mostly have that A sort of tonality right out of the A minor pentatonic scale. But here we're going to do a pull off from the 2nd fret of the 3rd string to the open into this E note on the 4th string. So we're doing this, which is right out of the E minor pentatonic scale, and gets us ready for that chord change that's coming. So once again, and pretty slowly, here's the lick. And the magic of that bar is all in the timing, especially when you got those pull-offs and the hammer-ons and all that stuff happening. All about accenting certain notes. So I'm going to play that again slowly. I stuck in a little hammer on there. Sounded kind of cool, but we're basically going from this and hit that E note solid. And what that does is sets us up perfectly for bar 9. We're going to hammer in at the top of bar 9 from the open 3rd string G note to a G sharp on the 1st fret of the 3rd string, and then back down. I'm going to use my ring finger here on that E note on the 4th string, because I'm basically falling right into an E chord. And then we're going to pump out the bar on E, and it sounds like this. And notice that we're doing just some basic picking once we get into that E chord. Really especially highlighting this D note right here. That's giving this the E7 flavor, E major. If we call in that D, we've got the E7 sound. So again, we're walking into it with this lick. And then at the tail end of this bar, we're hitting the open 6th string and then the 1st fret on the 6th string, but I'm coming over the fretboard and doing that with my thumb so that I can then shift up with my thumb and move into this D7 shape, which is your basic D7 chord, just with your thumb hooking over and playing the 2nd fret, that F sharp, in the bass. So here's what this all sounds like as we walk up to this D7 chord. And then for the lick that really happens over the D7, we start out, as you just heard, with the bass and then the chord. So I'm plucking the top 3 strings, then back to the bass, then the 3rd string. This is all under the chord. And then I'm going to hit the 1st string, 2nd fret, again under the chord, but then pick up. And I am bringing back the solid, steady bass for this. And we end with this little tag. We've done it before where we're pulling off from the D on the 2nd string to the C, and then hitting that A note on the 3rd string. And then the magic here is you're going to slide in with this 1st finger under the bar into the A. And then you're ready for your turnaround, which we're just going to launch into your basic turnaround over A. And again, we've certainly learned some cool parts, some cool licks here, but the main idea is to really focus on leading yourself into a chord change, hinting at it, maybe even building some suspense and anticipation of the coming chord change. So with that in mind, let's play through this at a slow tempo. Now up to speed. I hope you enjoyed this free lesson, and if you want to take things further, then I invite you to sign up for the Acoustic Blues Jumpstart. And this is a premium level course, but I'm offering the first 3 lessons in the course absolutely free. You just have to go to bluesguitarinstitute.com/start now and sign up. That's it for today's lesson, but join me next week when we take what we've learned over the last several lessons and we really give it a jazzy flair by using some cool chord moves. I think you're really going to enjoy it, so I hope to see you there. And until then, be sure to practice smart and play on.